I just want to remind the audience and people that are listening and watching online that this talk, this conversation on relationship was put together by IC Magazine and Civic Entertainment Gossip Television. Before we went on a little break, I wanted to challenge or ask questions of the panel regarding third-party intrusion and gossip, the role these two things play in relationships. And let me unpack that a little bit. Third party could be your father, your mother, your brother, your sister, your distant cousin, your best girlfriend. Everybody seems to have the best girlfriend, and they tell everything. And guys go to the bar and talk about their marriages, and talk about their wives, talk about their significant others. Gossip is one of the most venomous thing you could invite into your primary relationship. Gossip. You might think it's positive gossip. They're all bad. Gossip. But before we go to that, let me give the audience the opportunity to ask questions on what has been discussed so far. What has been discussed so far, let any audience participant who wishes to ask a question, please step forward and propound your question to either the panel or a particular panelist.
In reference to what Dr. Paul said, a patient of her came with his potential wife, and he dropped her off to come back and pick her up later. But for some reason, he didn't come back at the prescribed time, right? That's my understanding.
Yes, he was being called and he wasn't taking his phone call.
Taking his phone call, right?
Yes.
And she is concluding that he doesn't like her or love her based on that.
And other things.
Excuse me. My point is, there could be many things why the guy didn't come back. You have to hear from the guy.
Yes.
People tend to draw too much conclusion about people, and that thing is killing a lot of
relationships.
Yes.
It's killing a lot of relationships. You have to hear from the guy.
He could have gotten into an accident.
Absolutely. People keep drawing conclusions based on something they don't know about.
Yeah, but you're giving the doctor the opportunity to expatiate on how she reached that conclusion. Dr. Jugo.
Thank you so much. I'm on video. So, when I made a reference to that, I use that as an analogy. It doesn't mean that I was just telling you the whole story. What I just said was that could be an analogy. An analogy was something that you state to kind of like show you an example of how things should be for you to view. I wasn't judging the guy, and I wasn't judging them. When I use that analogy to explain to you how the people in a relationship or try to get to know each other, that was why I brought that out, because there's no relationship that will work if there's no love.
Good.
And there's so many ways you can find out if a man really loves you or if a woman really loves you.
It's a two-way street.
There is a way to tell that a woman loves you. There's also a way to tell that a man loves you. You've got to challenge, or even, as she said, you have got to test.
Yes, you have to. Not testing in a bad way,
but testing to see whether you are really loved. And then the attorney asks the question, how do you know?
Through that period of trying to get to know each other, from there, if there are some behaviors that you see in this man, and you know you really love him, and you see in this woman, and you know you really love her, you have that time period to correct it, to see if it's something you can work out, to say, oh honey. And I've seen many marriages.
Do you call them out on it? If if you find that someone has a behavior that is debilitating to the relationship, do you speak on it directly?
You mean if I speak on it? No, what I mean with the two people, they have to speak on it first. And there's an approach too. The way you approach people has to also be different.
And that's what he said.
If I'm going to tell this man something like, now I know he's my boyfriend, we're trying to get married in the future very soon. You see, you want to eat. Honey, is the food ready? Or, where is the food now? You see what I just said?
That is the rapport that I talked about at the very outset.
So, if you say, honey, is the food? Oh, sweetheart, I'm coming here. Just give me a few minutes, okay? That is the talk of love. So, versus, where is the food? I just come from work. Where is the food? Then the man will not say. The woman will also respond the same way. Waiting. Am I your slave?
Mirroring.
That's the
right?
problem. Yes.
Matching you and mirroring you. Now, I think you've explained very ably.
You can explain to your partner, this is what happened, I'm not gonna be home at this time any longer because of this. But she might not believe you because...
But that is just one instance. You're not listening. What I'm telling you is, this what I gave you earlier was an analogy.
I see your point,
yes.
I see your point.
So that's it.
My point is, I keep stretching on this point. People draw too much conclusion.
Okay, so let's deal with that. Let's deal with that. Because I think you're very passionate about that. And I think that the reason people might be obstinate or disagreeable with the reasons you're furnishing them might have its root somewhere else. Because there might have been an established behavior or patterns of behavior that you have been caught not being very candid. And if that were the case, then you'd have to work doubly for man and woman to regain that trust, so that if you say, I'm going here, they wouldn't bother. But it takes a bit of work to re-establish the trust. That's what I think. Attorney Emeka, I told you that we're going to come back to gossip and third party. And I've just enumerated what I call third party. Relatives, best friends. Every woman has a best friend and tells the best friend everything. You know, men go to the bar and talk about everything too. So the question is, I know that relationship starts going sour upon the invitation of third party into your relationship. It doesn't matter. It could be as simple as, guess what my husband just bought me. You are setting the person you're talking to, you're setting them up to cause problems in their own relationships, because they are expecting their boyfriends to treat them the same way, or their husbands to treat them the same way, even when they both don't have the same financial capacity. So, what do you think men and women should do to deal with this insidious thing about gossip? Even when they think it's positive, it is so insidious that it begins to metastasize all around the relationship and finally kills it.
Ben, thank you so much for that question. You know, I think that gossip, in its pure form, it's malicious. It's sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not true, but it's not intended to help.
Hence it's called gossip.
Exactly. However, it's not all gossip. Sometimes it's just an exchange of information that influences people, and it's not intended to be malicious, and that's a different thing. Now, you see, the support that we get from our friends, from our bestie, from your brother, or from the guy sitting next to you at the bar, that support is essential. We all need that. However,
just to break in for a minute, is it possible to really, as Mark earlier said, is it possible to build that support with your significant other? Isn't it you and her, or her and you, against the rest of the world?
In a sense. However, the relationship that you have with your romantic other is very different from the relationship that you have with your best friend.
I'm talking about taking things in the relationship and taking it outside.
Yeah, I'm trying to answer that question.
Okay.
Here's the thing. The support you get from people around you who supply the gossip is essential. You need those people in your life. You don't have to act on everything that you're told or that you see. You have to be able to separate.
Is that really how it happens?
No.
That doesn't happen in reality.
But that's how you're supposed to be.
Because you have the intellectual ability and capacity to isolate things, right?
We're talking about, remember, there's no such thing as perfection.
Absolutely.
This is my contribution.
Okay.
I'm saying just the fact that somebody tells you something in a bid to support you, help you, or they want you to have a great future. Oh, that guy he's not treating you well. This other person treated this person better. Maybe you're better off than that person. With the best of intentions, maybe even if they're trying to help you, you still have to understand that your relationship with whoever is very different from your relationship with the person who is trying to support you.
Independent.
Ultimately, you have to make your own decision.
So you have to synthesize the information you're being given.
And it cannot be just based on what somebody tells you.
Thank you. Mark,
I would like to
speak more directly.
Okay.
If you've had such an experience where third party or gossip got into your relationship and really dealt a number to it,
then how do we handle third party? That's the
question.
That's the question. Yeah. The solution to dealing with third party is this: from get-go of the relationship, the two parties must see each other as one, as first. That means the man is first to the woman, and the woman is first to the man. Okay? Because of love and the union and the bond of that, to keep that relationship tight and strong. From get-go of that relationship, there must be a resolution that you are first to me and I am forced to you, vice versa. That's number one. Number two, in helping to deal with third party crisis, is there must be what you call a barrier, a demarcation in that relationship where a third party is a no-go area for third parties into your personal relationship. That means you set a barrier that cuts off third party deciding your marriage or ruling over your marriage. That means if anything, a situation arises, the two of you come together to resolve it. Without having to start calling your friends, telling them, oh, what is going on, or trying to put down your partner so that you get more support from your partner, your friends, in order to feel more validated as an adult. So it goes back to what I said about crisis management. Every individual, every adult, every partner must have that crisis ability to handle crisis management. And that barrier means that no third party, I don't care if it's your father, your mother, your in-law, even your own children, should penetrate that barrier. That barrier is exclusively to cut off influence or control or manipulation from third party into our immediate marriage or family or bond or relationship.
Yeah, some people think that or as it goes in Africa, more particularly where I come from, the Igbo land, I'm sure the same might be true elsewhere, that no one person is in marriage by themselves. So it takes almost like a village. And in inviting this village into your relationship, they don't appreciate what happens. It could be from your mother, it could be from your father, right? So your mom comes to visit you and she's having a problem with your wife. How do you deal with that? So that you don't get caught up with being seen as disrespecting your mother-in-law, because then that will play out in the bedroom. And then it will create a chain reaction. Then it goes into other aspects of your lives. Right? Let's hear from Dr. Jugo, let's hear from her and see what she has to say, and you too has to contribute to that, because although you're not married, you're getting there. You'll be married one day, and it's good to be equipped with all these tools.
Okay, so no matter what relationship you're in, there should be boundaries, okay? And when you're in a relationship with a man, you're in a union, that's between you and that man. I have a best friend. She's the mother of my goddaughter. We're extremely close, like sisters. But with my friendships, I'm very limited to the amount of information I put out. Because at the end of the day, I could be quarreling with my husband or significant other, and I go call my best friend and I'm bashing the guy. Oh, he did this, he said this, he treated me like this. At the end of the day, we're still gonna make up. And when we make up, in your best friend's head, he's still a dog. He still maltreated you. And she'll always bring that up. You understand? Like, you and your significant other can make up and you're on good terms and you go out to a social gathering and your best friend is there. She'll be like, I don't want to talk to him. He's this and this and this. Trying to pollute your relationship.
And she's telling that to other people.
And not only are you telling her this and she's keeping it within herself, she can confide in her significant other, who then confides in his best friend, and then it just trickles down. It's a domino effect. You know, word gets around. People talk all the time. So with relationships, it's not usually, a lot of failed relationships it's not usually the two people in the relationship, it's outside influence. That could also be family. And you made a statement about in Igbo land that it takes a village to build a marriage or whatever it was that you...
Well, raise a child, and I was trying to appropriate that same sentiment.
It takes a village to raise a child, but not... It has nothing to do with
to do with marriage, okay.
Because when you took those vows, it's between you, God, and that man. That's it. God should be at the center because he joined two people as one. It's not you, God, your significant other, and the rest of your village. That's my take.
Tagumba, what do you think?
I mean...
You're not married yet. You will be.
In the future.
So it's good to be equipped.
Yes.
Right? To be prepared.
No, this is all good information. Personally, I feel like, you know, gossip, it's like venting. You're venting about, you're not going to vent to your significant other about your significant other.
Why not?
Because you're not going to, that's just not going to happen.
So you guys are not having, you're not
You can have
communicating.
communication, but no one's perfect. You're not going to, as a man, I'm not going to go to my boys, I'm not going to sit with my friends and say, oh my gosh, my wife, she's amazing, she's this, she's that, she's this, I love my wife. Your boys, your friends are not going to want to hang out with you because all you do is talk about how amazing your wife is, go hang out with your wife, don't hang out with us. You know? When you're with your boys, you know, you just talk.
So it's a pity party.
Yeah. It's
Right?
not a pity party, no, don't say pity party.
Because everybody wants to come to a party, and
yeah.
you see, this is serious. The reason I'm challenging this particular convention is that in the end, it leads to bigger problems.
Right.
At the infancy, it may not seem that insidious, but then it gets worse as your relationship progresses, right? You have children, and then you're not home to babysit your kids, and then your friends I mean, she's telling it to other people, and then other things will start happening. But it starts with just one little conversation outside the relationship.
Right, and it depends on what you're saying too. If it's little things, if it's real small things. Oh, you know, she's my wife. She keeps telling me to go on vacation.
Okay.
You know, oh, I have to pay for this bill. I have to pay for that bill. Why do I have money to go on vacation? You can vent to your friend about that.
Okay.
You can also talk to your wife about it. Not vent, but talk to your wife about it. But as friends, this is my best friend. I'm going to tell him this.
Which then takes us to this topic. Finances. Oh, Dr. Chico wants to chime in, wants to say something about.
If you look at the root of the matter, the root of the whole problem, in marriage, relationship, or anything, whatever, whether in business or in your at work or anything where you have to have every day you see this person, every day you see this person, it boils down to love. Okay, it boils down to love. Have you ever pictured yourself, somebody you love very well, when you're talking to that person, even if that person say, oh, I can't go, you say, okay, take me I want to go pick up something, or take me to my friend's house, or drop me off at so place. Even if you can't do, because of love, you commit yourself to do it. Because when you love your wife or your wife loves you, there will always be that understanding. There will always be that room for you to talk. And when you build that bond, no third party will come in.
But Dr. Jugo, this thing, it's very amorphous. Love, you can't capture it. You can't, it's intangible. It is something every person can give freely. The question is, why do people withhold it? People can give it freely. It doesn't cost anybody anything to say, I love you. And the more you affirm the person, the more you appreciate the person, the more you show affection to the person, the more you accept when you're wrong, you say, I'm sorry. These are ingredients of love. My question is, as intangible as it is, why do people withhold it? And while they're withholding it, they are professing it at the same time.
They don't really mean it.
So they're playing game.
Yes. When you really be in a relationship where the love really exists, it conquers everything. If you offend, not that you live a life or in a relationship where you will not offend your wife or offend your husband or boyfriend or girlfriend.
But you say, I'm sorry.
You said, I'm sorry. You try to, you understand, you communicate. You understand, oh, honey, the way you did yesterday, I didn't like it too. Oh, really? I'm so sorry. Then somebody say, oh, what did I do? I didn't do nothing, no. So you are making the thing, is building up.
And when you accept the sorry, the apology, do you bring it up every now and then?
No.
But isn't that what really happens? Oh, the other day you told me you were sorry, but then are you going to be sorry every time?
This is my advice on this whole topic. Once you commit yourself to somebody, either as a boyfriend and girlfriend, if you decide to take it to the next level, if she's somebody that you want to get married to, get to know each other, test each other out, try to fix it up, try to correct the things you feel that you cannot live with. Like I have a cousin, we'll be telling my cousin to get married. Every time there's always something to complain about. God is perfect woman for him. Oh, when she comb her hair, she doesn't clean the bathroom. I see pieces of hair.
Petty stuff.
Petty stuff. That's no seriousness. He doesn't want to get married. One thing you should know in this life, there are people built for marriage. There are also people, no matter what you do, no matter what you tell them, they just want to be free. They don't want to be married. You can put a wife, even bother a woman, beautiful woman, anything, put it in their house. The woman will do everything and suffer everything. They will never be satisfied. So there are some people.
And there's also a man that can labor.
Yes, there are
labor assiduously to support the woman. Nothing he does is ever good enough.
There are some men, the man will do everything for that woman. Call that woman honey, 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 honey every minute. that woman will never be satisfied. So, what I say to people is, first of all, before you take that, go to that next level, get to know each other. Make sure things you see in him or things you see in her are those things that you think you can live with for the rest of your lives. Then when you now understand and fall in love, love will begin to take you to the next level every day. It will guide your marriage. You now grab God. Even when you know God so well, you love God, you go to church 24/7 and get married to that woman or that man. You keep going to church, keep going to church. Without love, one day, that marriage will fall apart.
I'm going to say something or ask something that is very, very, very controversial. And that is this. Is it even possible? Is it even possible to get married to a woman or a man to the exclusion of every other man or every other woman? Is it possible? I'm talking about cheating now, affairs. Because some people will tell you that it's probably impractical to be married to one person for 20 years, 30 years. It's very controversial. It's controversial. Because this newer generation, I think, they don't think, everybody says, I want to be loved, I want to marry my husband, but do they really mean it? And the same goes for men. Do they really mean it? And do they get tired at some point of seeing the same face every day? Same face.
Do you know what I've taken, what I've concluded in this my stage in life? All these younger generations, like my kids' age, their marriage is going to work 100%. They're going to be married forever. Because you know why? Because they're not going to make the mistake that we made. When you now jump in, you seeking the advice of a father or mother to approve you, or try to make sure your friends say, oh, this guy is cool. Oh boy, marry this guy now. Letting people coming in to fit into it's not going to happen to them. Once they have a woman, if you guide your child in the right way, and they have a woman, they know what to look for. They're not jumping into marriage. They want to just get to know each other. They go out on a date. I know my son will say, Mom, I'm taking my girlfriend out. So I just want to know, get to know her. You get to know. Mom, you got to slow down. When you see her, you jump in. I'm not telling you I'm bringing a wife home. You understand what I'm saying?
So your son is very assertive.
Yes. No, that's not an assertive. He's being respectful.
Yes.
Telling me, Mom.
No, I said assertive.
Yes, assertive. Because
assertive.
That's me coming. I want this girl to come, go to my kitchen and start cleaning the dishes or calling me mommy every minute. Me like say, oh, this girl, he don't even greet me. Oh, this is the one you want. He said, Mom, what are you talking about? I'm just trying to get to know her.
For myself.
For myself. At the end of the day, it's me. It's what I want. If I decide I don't even want woman to cook my food, I'll be the one to cook for myself and cook for her.
Okay.
If I decide that this is what I want, that's what I want. So when you now made that decision, you're now able to find that a way to dictate to know this is who I want to live with. These young kids, you see, they're not going to go through this drama.
Thank you very much for that contribution. This will then lead us into one aspect of this conversation we haven't touched. And I think is, as I said earlier, it is the 64,000-pound gorilla in the room. And that is finances, money. And when it's all gone bad, we run to the lawyers to take more from us. Attorney Emeka, please give us what role does finances, money play in relationships? And before they get to you guys and then liquidate everything else that is left, what role should people be talking about money in relationships? And does money supplant love?
Thank you, Ben. I think that in this modern day, in this United States of America, you have to talk about money. Finances are a big part of marriage. And if you're going to be in a partnership, you must discuss it and have a unified approach to it. Because you're no longer thinking just for yourself, you're thinking about the couple. So it's a unified plan. You can no longer organize your finances the same way you did when you were single, because then you only had to worry about yourself. Now you have to worry about two. For instance, that leads to situations like the doctor mentioned, where the husband stays home and looks after the kids so the wife can go better herself and get a career, go to school, that sort of thing. That's finance right there. But it never replaces love.
What about the woman that says, you asked my hand, you married me, right? A man should take care of a woman. You're my husband, right? I'm going to stay home and take care of the children. You are my husband. I don't care what you do to take care of me and the household. Go figure it out.
I think that attitude is somewhat...
And we do know that there are people that have that attitude.
Yes. I think that attitude is traditional and outmoded. It might have been prevalent in a different era and possibly a different culture. But we're talking about today. I don't really think that anybody today would strongly come forward with that theory.
I have people that are going through that now. People that I know, personally. The question is, you're already in marriage before you figured this out. You have 4 children before you figured it out. What do you do?
Look, I don't have a problem with the traditional setup where one partner, usually the male, provides the bacon, and one partner, usually the female, takes care of the home.
And I don't even understand that traditional setup. What if the woman is more talented than you?
Well,
and she has the capability of being the next Oprah Winfrey.
What I'm saying is, I understand that has validity. There's nothing wrong with that, if that's the way both parties want to live. But I'm just saying, in this day and age, it just doesn't seem like the right way. I don't think it would work.
Okay. What do you think about finances, Takumba, in a relationship?
Personally, with me, I would like to make enough money that my wife is okay. You know, I grew up with a mother that had to do everything. I like to see my mom rest. So I'm already programmed in my head. I want to see my wife rest.
At some point.
At some point, she needs to. I want to make enough money that but in this day and age, you know, it has to be a 2-income house in this day and age.
Would you have a problem if she's looking to build her own career as well?
No, I won't have a problem. But she needs to be. We have to have that understanding that.
And balance.
Balance. Children. You know, food. Personally, I can't cook myself. I just can't.
But you must be a foodie.
I know.
Food.
No. I like to eat, but I can't. Like my mommy said. You know, she taught her sons how to cook. I wasn't taught how to cook. I will depend on my mother to cook, and I also depend on my wife to cook. So if she's the type of woman that can do both, like my mother, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to compare her to my mother. You know. So
doesn't that set up some problems?
I'm hoping it doesn't. But
maybe you need to avoid that. Maybe you need to avoid that conversation altogether. Because it might create its own problems.
But finance definitely plays. You know, we have to survive. You know.
Thank you very much. We're getting to the end of it. One more question to handle is, Dr. Chigo, I know you're itching to leave. How do you resolve anger? Because anger is very bad for the person harboring the anger. You know, Les Brown once said that anger is like wishing your enemy dead while you're dying yourself. Anger. And the longer it takes, the sooner you die. And how do we deal with anger in relationships? And what are the triggers?
Well, some of the things that makes people angry in a marriage or in any relationship, it's all due to the stuff we spoke about. And everything I say still boils down to love, because when you have anger can consume you, can lead to so many health issues. And one thing that I can give credit to the older generation in case of marriages or issues affecting marriages, or because they're able to vent. Because when you're able to vent to somebody and say, hey, this is what my husband is doing to me, or this is what my wife is doing to me, or
isn't that gossip?
You feel relieved. Yeah, it's gossip, of course, but the only good thing about that is it's able to eliminate that kind of, if you really vent it to the right person. And I tell people, be involved in churches, because you can talk to the pastors. Where the pastor takes it to will be between the pastor and God. In terms of the finance, so we have always said that money is the root of all evils. The marriage could be going well as soon as one person starts to do better. That certain things start to set in about jealousy.
Why not enjoy it? If your partner is doing well,
yeah,
why not enjoy it?
Most people are not wired that way. If you want to get married to any man or any woman, to kumbo, my sweetheart, son. Before you commit yourself to really say this is a woman I want to get married to, and you are out there, including my case, make sure you have a date. So don't let the money come into your marriage.
Good.
You got married before the money came. Even if you came into the marriage with the money, the man, that's why a man has to be careful too, and women have to be careful. If you're already a successful woman, already a successful man, before you got into the marriage, you can know what to do to really test. Without that test, you have to do the testing. Go through the testing period. This is it works. Then you now say, okay, this woman really loves me. This man really loves me. Let me really go to the next level. Then when you are not there with that love, there's something you love about this woman that triggers the only person you want to think about. And for you to know a man loves you, or a woman loves you, you have to be the first person they're thinking about when they wake up in the morning. So if you're not the first person they think about when they wake up in the morning, there's no love. Because love will help you to, even when the finances comes, if the woman sees that the husband is down, or as a matter of fact, if you love each other when you get married, there shouldn't even be a separate account.
Absolutely. Money ceases to have relevance.
Yeah, there should be joint accounts. Joint account where you all mark down to say, okay, this is what we're going to spend today, this is what you're going to spend tomorrow, this is what you're going to do. Then you start to put some away for your kids to come. Like me, like I tell my kids, every dollar they spend today is part of the money I save, even before having them. So you don't have to wait till you become so rich, you get carried away, you don't save for your future. You have to always say, okay, this is when the kids come. This is because when you don't plan, lack of planning will mess you up. Will mess you up financially, will mess you up in the relationship. Because even if you love that woman before, you love the man before, you tend to see the man in a different way. You start to see the woman in a different way because of lack of love and lack of planning. So
thank you so much, Dr. Judo. Let me just remind viewers and people in the audience that IC Magazine and Civic Entertainment Television put together this conversation or discussion on relationship, and I hope that people are going to tune in, go to YouTube, take a listen, whatever makes sense, whatever works, use it, apply it in your lives, maybe, just maybe.
My finance is my background. I'm a financial professional, and I realized one of the biggest issues in marriages and relationships is actually finance. Finance is a very strong area, because if we get into relationship, we gotta start planning our finances together. You know, and financial planning is the key. You know, that means how do we start saving for the future? How do we start investing our money into something so that our money start growing? How do we start planning for our children's college? Set up a college fund for our children early, so that when our children reach age 18 or 21, they have money in that college fund to take care of their college education, college expenses.
So you're talking about planning together,
financial from day one that you became joined or agreed to live together. You start planning your finances together. You know, you start setting up what you call multiple retirement accounts.
I would say that the things that we've discussed, these are normal. The test of a successful relationship is time. If it endures, then it works. If you hear that these people have been married for 30 years, you're like, wow, that's a good relationship. You don't understand what they went through. Gossip is normal. Cheating actually is normal. Having bad finances, good finances is normal. Take it in your stride. Persevere. Survive. Endure. That is what a good relationship is.
Thank you very much.
A good relationship is where love is the foundation. The two parties are extremely patient with one another. I believe that in a good relationship, you should be friends. There should be a friendship where you can talk to one another rather than going outside of your marriage to talk to other people. In a good relationship, there's a lot of transparency, there's vulnerability, and there's a lot of forgiveness. And that's what a lot of us tend to shy away from because we're so prideful and we're all filled with egos. Forgiveness, because we will always mess up, whether it's in the financial arena, whether it's infidelity, but knowing to gain ourselves back and reconcile and to forgive. And once you forgive, don't rehash what has happened. Do not throw someone's sin back into their face. And that's it.
Thank you very much. Tokumba, to round it up.
To piggyback off of Elizabeth, love is the foundation. Forgiveness helps also. No one's perfect. No relationship is going to be perfect. Like my attorney said, persevere through everything. There's going to be obstacles. But if you truly love someone, any relationship can push through.
Thank you very, very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of this series on relationship. I thank you all, collectively and individually, and I thank the audience for being around to listen, and hopefully we'll go out there and become better in our own individual relations and see if things couldn't get better for us. Thank you. ISEE Magazine, we thank you so much for putting together this particular forum and covering it with civic entertainment television. Thank you.